when energy supply no longer meets energy demand, that is what we call health debt. And that's a very scary place for a body. It's when the body
Hmm.
shifts into survival mode. And our body is beautifully designed to survive. But what we've been conditioned as women is to put more demand and cut our energy supplies.
Welcome to the Owning Your Sexual Self podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Main, sex and relationship coach and therapist, and I'm so honored to have you here. This podcast was created as a space for honest, nuanced, shame-free conversations about sex, intimacy, desire, relationships, and what it really means to feel at home in your body. Whether we're talking about pleasure, boundaries, communication, healing, or the messy middle of long-term relationships, this is a place where you don't have to have it all figured out in order to belong. As I enter into my 6th year of podcasting, I feel more committed than ever to helping you soften the pressure, trust your body, and build a relationship with your sexuality that feels grounded, empowered, and true to you. So take a breath, let yourself arrive, and know that wherever you're starting from is more than enough. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hello there. We have the Period Whisperer on with us today. I'm really excited to have Bria Gadd on to the show today. She is a functional diagnosis nutrition and practitioner, a holistic health coach, and a certified personal trainer, and she specializes in women's hormones and midlife health. She helps women navigate pre and post menopause with more energy, sustainable weight loss, and confidence, just by uncovering that root causes of what causes these hormonal imbalances. So, Bria is the creator of the Midlife Mojo and the host of the Period Whisperer podcast. And it's a top 1% wellness podcast. And her Instagram community also has more than 19,000 followers. Amazing, great content if you want to give her a follow. And her work has also been featured by Fox News, Women's Health, and numerous leading wellness podcasts. So I'm very excited to have Bria onto the show today, and we're going to get into all things perimenopause. A nice little refresher episode. I know we have several episodes on the show around menopause and perimenopause, but I truly think it's something that we need to put more voice to. And so there's never too many podcasts or too much information on this stuff, because also the information is always changing and evolving. So thanks for tuning in today. Please message us with any questions. Please give the show a follow. That helps us to reach more people. And yeah, let's get this show on the road. Let's let Bria into the room. Okay. Hi, Bria. Thank you so much for coming on to the show today.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about this conversation.
Yes, absolutely. And I love what on the Wednesdays we wear pink vibe that we have going on today.
I know we're totally twinning, like what our straight hair rocking.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
It's great. I
Yeah,
love
the
it.
blonde hair, the pink shirt, the cute
Yeah.
little necklaces. Like
Yeah.
I just need a plant in my background. I keep telling
I know.
my husband, I'm like, I really need to get a plant behind me. It just will really complete the whole vibe over here.
Yeah, it does. It adds a little something.
It does, yeah, a little breath of life, if you will. So, but my clitorises and my vibrators,
I know. I was like,
they
but
do
you have a
well.
really cool background. It's like, I want some of those in my background. I love it.
Yes, we could trade. Maybe you can give me some of your leaves, but well, perfect. Yeah. So we're talking, kind of all things perimenopause today. I love that you call yourself the Period Whisperer. That's so fun. And that's the name of your podcast too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
That's what
cool.
it's called as
How
well.
long have you been podcasting?
4 years.
Yeah. Time flies, huh?
It's wild. How long have you had yours for?
It'll be
I have quite a few
7.
episodes. 7 years. I
Yeah.
knew you had quite a few episodes when I was checking things out. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of crazy. It goes quick.
hmm Yeah, and I'm always just thankful for people like you too, like doing this type of work. I know we're talking perimenopause, menopause, and there's just so much conversation. I'm thankful that like conversation around this has been increasing more information is coming out. There's like more awareness is building in the world. And so while I've had other guests on like talking about perimenopause, I'm always happy to welcome on more guests, because I really think it's like getting this information out and making this easy for people to be able to access. And so like through your podcast, right, like other things that you do and the work that you do, I think it's important. It just helps people just feel more educated and more empowered to start asking questions or to get curious about their bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. And you do that so well too. Like that's what's so incredible about your podcast. You talk about a topic that probably is challenging for people sometimes, or that we should talk about more, but we don't. So I really appreciate the space you hold for women here too.
Yeah, thank you. Well, look at us, just two pink girlies out in the world doing the damn thing.
Yeah, doing the damn thing. I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, just curious a little bit around your story. Like, how did you get into this work? What made you go down this avenue?
Yeah, I think well, before I even got into this avenue, I started when my kids were just born, so in my late 20s. I'm now almost 45. I'm telling you, my kids are now teenagers. I have one about to go off to college now. When they were just born, I was like, okay, I need to find like something my mom had always instilled in me was like, you need to make sure you can financially take care of yourself. So I was like, I need to be able to make some money and also to take care of my children,
Hmm.
because I wanted to still be there around them as best as I can. And so I leaned into fitness and nutrition as a fitness and nutrition coach, online, as something that allowed me to focus on my health and also, be as present as I can for the kids and earn some money. And I did that for, I was probably 28, 29 when I really started doing that. And I thought I had everything figured out. I thought I was like, oh,
Hmm.
this is great. Eat more or eat less, move more. This is what we do. And I taught a lot of women how to do that. And then come midlife, and I shouldn't say midlife, but 35, 36, 37, and there's always more to everyone's story. I like to say, like around that age, we moved countries, and that was a huge work. My daughter was struggling with anxiety, and that, changes things for any of us who understand that around kids. I
Hmm.
had a period where I didn't sleep much at all for 6 months because my daughter was struggling so much.
Hmm.
So then I had antibiotics, and all of these things started culminating. And as the dust kind of settled a little bit, I was 37, and I just started feeling like my body was falling apart. I gained what I call 20 pounds of undeserved weight gain, which I think a lot of women can appreciate when nothing changes. But then as
Hmm.
this is changing, my sleep started to go, my anxiety started to rise. I had this like twitch, even I remember in my eye, that was lasting forever. And my periods did get wonky. So all of that kind of had me go, well, first, before that, I was like, well, what should I do? I'm a fitness trainer, nutrition coach. I'm not feeling well. What is my answer? And I'm like,
Hmm.
push harder and eat less. This is what we do. We're like, oh, I'm gonna wake up at 4 a.m. I'm
Yeah.
gonna double pound my like pre-workout caffeine. I'm gonna increase this caffeine and I'm gonna push harder in my workout. And I just honestly, Rachel, I just crumbled and
Mm.
fell
I
apart.
can
And
imagine. Yeah.
so it was really this moment that I think a lot of women recognize where it's like, I am doing the things and the things aren't working. And I don't like, I'm in the wellness industry. So if I don't know, like, how does any other woman gonna know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, long story longer is that took me to see my practitioner, who was great, my doctor. She asked all the questions and ran all the labs and looked me in the face and said I was the perfect picture of health. And I just felt devastated. I was like,
Hmm.
I am in the wellness industry. My body is falling apart. And that was kind of my first step in sort of unraveling and recognizing, like, okay, I need to come back to kindergarten basics here and really understand what's happening in my hormones, in my health, which is when I really found FDN. So I'm a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner.
Hmm.
And when I found them and in their curriculum, when I decided to kind of pivot into hormones and health, we do all of this functional lab work on ourselves. And that was when I discovered, what do you know? Like at 37, I was thinking maybe my hormones are wacky, but my sex hormones were quintessential. My
Hmm.
adrenal hormones were tanked. I wasn't breaking down my proteins properly in my gut. So even the healthy food I was trying to eat wasn't working for me. I had H. pylori and an empty dysbiotic gut and a congested liver. And I was a hot mess. And
Hmm.
I would never have known that otherwise.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
again, the kind of the moral of it was this is why I help women with who are doing the things, like health-minded, busy women who are doing the things when the things aren't working. Because for me, there's always an unwinding and an understanding of what is perimenopause and what is actually health debt in our body.
Hmm.
That's what
Hmm.
functional labs really do for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And it's unfortunate that it can be so pricey to go down that route for people and insurance won't cover it, which is such bullshit, right? By the way, it's like they won't cover shit for us to be proactive about our health. They want to wait until we have a problem. But yeah, I think that can just it's like a deeper dive into the body
Mhm.
I experience this all the time with clients. I recommend lab work, and it's like they'll go, and so many people are denied by their doctor to even get lab work,
Oh
which
yeah.
blows my mind. It's like, if I want to know this stuff, I should have the right to be able to have this information about myself.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox there, but
I'm with you
it's,
there.
it
Right next to
just,
you. Yeah.
yeah. And so I think, especially for women, right? Women in the medical space, right, are just so often dismissed. I work as a sex coach and sex therapist, right? So
Oh,
it's like low libido,
mhm.
oh, have a glass of wine, get a lubricant, right? Like, just
Oh, for
not
sure.
relevant answers.
Yeah. I've had multiple clients, but one in particular that comes to mind that her testosterone was so low, which really plays a role in our libido. And she asked her doctor about testosterone, and he's like, no, just read some erotic literature.
Oh my
That was his
gosh.
answer.
Yeah.
Like
His
his,
answer.
yeah, there we go. It's male, we'll call it male, pale, and stale. That's my favorite saying. His answer. Anyway,
Yes.
I appreciate what you're saying, and it's very frustrating. And I think I always try to frame lab work for people like one, our doctors, obviously not all are amazing, but let's all give everyone the benefit of the doubt and assume they're all out there, doing the best they can. They are designed to identify disease and physical problems. So if you
Mhm.
go to your doctor and you do not feel fine and you get your tests, whatever they're willing to do for you, and they say you are fine, congratulations, you don't have a diagnosable condition. I think that's a really important thing. And it means you have a functional problem. Do
Mhm.
not accept they're fine as you're fine, because when you understand lab work, even conventional lab work, the ranges of fine is so different. It's like saying someone who's a size 5 shoe should fit in a size 10 shoe and be comfortable.
Mhm. Mhm.
Massively different.
Yeah. Let's talk about the health debt a little bit more. Can you, yeah, what do you mean by this?
Yeah. So I think it is amazing that we're hearing so much more about perimenopause
Hmm.
and all of this. But what I am finding in practice is that, I only work with, health conscious, busy women in kind of in midlife around this age. And 80% of them don't have a hormone production problem, which is really what perimenopause comes down to. They have something what I call health debt. And health debt is really when the energy demand of your body no longer is overtaking the energy supply to your body. And
Hmm.
this accumulates over decades, right? Like when I was young, I definitely was on antibiotics as a kid. I had a massive postpartum hemorrhage after having a child. So I had low iron. We have injuries, we have sickness, we have COVID, all of these things roll into energetic demands and debt in our body.
Hmm.
And when we reach midlife, we're also doing all of these things. And when we reach midlife, suddenly perimenopause is a transition, which is a demand on
Hmm.
the body. And that transition kind of slips us very quickly, I think, from oh, I'm just balancing this. A lot of women say to me, like I feel like I'm just juggling all the balls, just keeping things afloat. And then
Hmm.
all of a sudden overnight, we just slip into, if you're watching this on video, like almost like this teeter totter. Now we've lost. For me, when energy supply no longer meets energy demand, that is what we call health debt. And that's a very scary place for a body. It's when the body
Hmm.
shifts into survival mode. And our body is beautifully designed to survive. But what we've been conditioned as women is to put more demand and cut our energy supply. So we come into this time, all of a sudden, what happens when our body it's into survival mode? Well, one, it starts to shut down non-essential personnel, which is your reproductive hormones. This is why
Hmm.
we're seeing so many more women talk about perimenopause at like 35, 36, 37, 38, when in fact it's not perimenopause. It's just the
Hmm.
adrenals have shut down the sex hormones and we just happen to be in that window. Then, so there goes our libido. Here comes some wonky periods, a lot of hormonal funky issues. And then, if we don't fix things, if we don't get out of debt, then the body shifts into conservation mode, which means I don't know how much energy I'm going to get. So I'm going to store this
Hmm.
energy. And this is
Hmm.
where, hello, here comes the weight gain
Hmm.
for everyone. And that's a lot of the complaints we hear. And then kind of even further beyond that, it pilfers energy from our gut microbiome. So we might start to have gut issues from our liver. We might start to have more skin issues or anger issues or frustration, and so on
Hmm.
and so forth. So
Hmm.
this is what I call health debt. And again, the problem is our body feels like she's on a deserted island. And what we should do on a deserted island is conserve But here we are thinking like, oh, we're on this deserted island. Let's go for a run and starve ourselves. And it makes things so much worse, right? And I did that and I was in the wellness industry, Rachel,
Yes,
like
yes.
not all that long ago. And I'm like, oh, great. So I think when I think about health, that is what one of the most valuable things we can do for our bodies, whether we are heading into the perimenopause years or not, is really get clear on where the energy supply and demand of our body is and get out of debt.
Yeah. And what would you name as some of like the biggest contributors to this health debt?
Yeah. So I think, for me, over exercising is a
Hmm.
huge, and I mean, look, we all know, I think alcohol, sugar, poor food, these things are pretty rough. Endotoxins and environmental toxins into the world can be really challenging.
Hmm.
But healthy habits like exercising and over exercising, like it is a stress on the body. It's a massive energy demand.
Ah.
So, you might think you're be doing the right thing for yourself, working out 6 days a week, but if you don't have the supply and the support structure to heal that and recover that, you're actually spending money you don't have,
Hmm.
which is where we land. I think poor sleep, not
Yeah.
holding enough space for sleep is a huge contributor to it. Of course, the shifting of hormones is a huge contributor to it, but
Hmm.
really any and all stressor or vulnerability. I mean, I think COVID was a big contributor to,
Hmm.
health debt for so many people. Uh,
Yeah. I
so
also see
yeah,
things, yeah, like people pleasing, like putting yourself on the back burner, like servicing others, right? Or you mentioned like the gut health
yeah,
perspective of it. Blood sugar. I was just reading up this morning on blood sugar stuff. Like that could be attributing to some symptoms that I'm having. Even I'm like, wow, it's like
absolutely.
things you wouldn't. I mean, yeah, I think there's some things like sugar, alcohol, right? Like these things are
Yeah,
like, yeah, duh, that's not going to be good for me. But some of these other things are like how you mentioned, like liver stuff. Like, how would we even know?
right.
How would we even know that our liver was
Yeah.
off or not producing correct?
Yeah, I mean, something I see commonly in, gut in functional labs that I run for women is that there a sign called indican, elevated indican, which means we are not breaking down our protein properly. This was a situation for me. So everything on social media is telling us to eat like 100 grams of protein a day, and that actually can be a really wonderful habit for people. We often need more protein. But now we have women eating the protein and they're bloating all day long, and then they feel horrible and then they don't feel very good about themselves and then they don't sleep well. And now that's creating a problem in the body.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, we can stabilize the groundwork of health debt by, I think, making sure we're eating to regulate our blood sugar, that we are not burning the midnight oil and like doom scrolling late into the night and watching,
Hmm.
dark shows. Like there's things we can do to stabilize it is really that are really important. But at some point, if the things you're doing are not working, we've got to dig deeper. And that is
Hmm.
where I think the functional lab work really puts the puzzle pieces together for people and gives you a blueprint.
Hmm. Yeah, and that was gonna be my next question. Like, where would you point somebody to that wants to begin this? And it sounds like it would be the labs would be the first step.
Yeah, that would be. So whenever I'm working with a client, like we always use labs. It's not like we'll order them and get them going, but first we're always going to do like a full deep dive into like nutrition, lifestyle, like what is sucking your energy
Hmm.
and where can we stabilize things? Because again, labs are very valuable, but if we don't have quality, like kindergarten basics of our lifestyle health together, we can't build health with those answers anyway.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, so then I like to really move into looking at functional lab work as a way to really identify all of the areas in the body. Because I think
Hmm.
we get really caught up in conventional medicine with like, oh, you think you have a hormone issue, you go to your gynecologist and then maybe to your endocrinologist. And oh, we have a GI issue and then we're going over to this doctor. But all of our systems are connected together inside. And
Hmm.
if you just, like put a finger in the hole of the leak in one area, there's still issues somewhere
Hmm.
else. So I think that's another, although, in an ideal world, we're running, 2 or 3 functional labs to look at hormones, immune, digestion, detoxification, nervous system, and energy production and oxidative stress in the body. And that will give
Hmm.
us like, where do we start?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, very insightful information. Thanks for sharing. I want to take a quick moment to share something I truly trust when it comes to supporting sexual health and pleasure. This is a product line I've worked with for over a decade, both personally and professionally, and it's been a cornerstone in how I support clients and listeners in feeling more comfortable, confident, and informed about their bodies. Recently, the offerings have expanded, making it easier than ever to support both individuals and couples at every stage of their journey. This collection includes high-quality lubricants, thoughtfully designed sex toys, and personal health products that support arousal, comfort, and overall sexual well-being. Everything is body safe and chosen with intention so that exploration feels more supportive rather than overwhelming. Whether you are reconnecting with yourself or deepening intimacy with a partner, these products are meant to meet you where you're at. You can shop my curated collection through the link in my show notes using the code MY9PU44. That's code MY9PU44 to get 15% off your entire order. Your pleasure and your sexual health matter, and you deserve tools backed by experience, care, and trust, and that's exactly what I'm bringing to you. Again, go to the link in the show notes here and use code MY9PU44 to save 15% off. Enjoy. Yeah, and if we shift now into the perimenopause scope, because you're mentioning like there's health debt and there's perimenopause, it
Yeah.
feels like it's like two separate things.
Yeah, I think, and I think if there's a bit of a Venn diagram, maybe
Yes,
we'll
yeah,
call
fair.
it. I think that one irritates the others.
Yes.
Most of the time, people are coming into perimenopause with a lot of health debt, and perimenopause is really just highlighting that debt.
Hmm.
Like, oh, so yeah, let's talk about perimenopause.
Let's please. Yes. Let's first identify like what is perimenopause for somebody that maybe is just like here for the first time.
Yeah. So perimenopause is not technically a diagnosable condition.
Hmm.
I mean, menopause is defined by us not having a period or a menstrual cycle for 365 days. And then we have menopause for 1 day and we are postmenopausal. That's sort of how it looks looked at. Perimenopause is really like our reverse puberty. It is the beginning like all the way up to the retirement of our ovaries. And it's our ovaries starting to be like, I'm kind of done my job here. What do I need to do to pass the torch over to the adrenals or where else in the body? And the challenging part is that it can take 10 years for it, for maybe
Hmm.
things to begin. So it can start as early, even as, signs of it in 35. But mostly I find it happens if you are not in a lot of health debt, we see the challenges of it coming much more closer to like 47, 48, 49, 50.
Hmm. Hmm. Do you just curiosity, because I have a working theory. I have no research whatsoever to back this, but I'm curious if you notice a difference in women that do not have kids entering perimenopause or seeing symptoms earlier versus women that do have kids.
I do. Well, I do. And I see, unless they're teachers, I see women who do not have kids having a bit of a gentler time going in.
Mm,
That is what I have noticed, primarily because their sleep has not had to be interrupted by someone else so many
hmm.
times,
Hmm.
is what it looks like. Fewer things to be. And again, this is a big generalization. Just because
Yes.
someone doesn't have children does not mean they don't have massive demands on their life. But as an average, I think that was what I would say if I had to work on your working theory, is that my hypothesis is that women who do not have children, have not had children, are going to have an easier time than
Hmm.
otherwise.
Hmm.
Is that your theory?
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, yeah, easier time, but or just start seeing things like earlier because I think this is like bringing into like the people pleasing realm of things or just
Mm,
having another person to literally care for. I don't have kids, so I'm bringing in like a different lens from this. So
yeah.
knowing that I don't have that day to day or like I get to primarily focus on me like as the main priority in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like I don't know, seeing that shift, but also I feel with people that are on the go, 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 we often overlook symptoms that we're having in the body. Like we're so out of our body, we don't see these things actually happening until we do slow down. And so yeah, maybe again, just working theory, maybe that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with kids, right? Somebody also can be embodied that does have kids. But yeah.
I think it's all, when you think about so many women, certainly the women that are going to be listening to podcasts are high achieving, driven, accomplishing kind of women like yourself.
Mm,
And I always think some of our greatest strengths are our greatest weaknesses. And we women who are high achieving and driven are, whether they have kids or not, are exceptional at pushing through and getting things done. This is
mhm,
why we're
mhm.
seeing so much success, which is wonderful. And that often means that we've put blinders on and completely ignored what our body is saying to us. So I
Mhm,
think to your point there, I think
mhm.
that is really relevant.
Yeah. Yeah. This and yeah, this just being the message of people listening, like kids or no kids, like take a moment to slow down, take a minute to like actually check in with yourself and see how am I feeling? Like what is feeling present in my body today?
Yeah, I agree. I think it is one of the demands of this age in life is to pay attention. And I think one of
Hmm.
the beautiful aspects of it is when you get out of health debt, when you take the time to know your own body, I really think there is so much beauty in the trust that is created in our relationship with ourselves. When you know what your
Hmm.
body needs to eat to feel well, how it needs to move, how much rest it needs, what feels good, and this super probably applies to sexual health and sexual desire,
Hmm.
then everything gets better when you can take care of your own self.
Hmm. Preach, my friend, preach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if we're staying in like the perimenopause like side of things,
Yeah.
what would you say are some of those earlier symptoms that people might, or women rather, like might start to overlook pretty early on?
Yeah, for sure. I think what is common in perimenopause, what we commonly see first is that our progesterone drops. And that usually ends in potentially some heavier periods, potentially more anxiety or struggle to sleep in that kind of second half of our cycle. So this is a really common thing I think we start to notice in perimenopause. And then a little later on, we'll see the kind of fluctuation of estrogen, where we can start to have, the temperature triggers in the body where we're having hot flashes, more commonly, or heart palpitations because of that triggering. So I think what is normal and what we can be like, oh, hey, is like maybe like, there's something going on. There's some transition. I'm maybe a bit more tired. Maybe things aren't as consistent. My mood's maybe a little off. And certainly like, oh, my periods are getting further or closer together. I think that's appropriately normal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think where we get thrown is, especially if you're under 45, if you are waking in the night and can't sleep, if you're having night sweats, if you are gaining weight and cannot lose it, again, if you're trying to put on muscle and it's not working, if you are having anxiety, those things are often more signs of health debt than they are
Mm-hmm.
of perimenopause.
Mm-hmm.
And we
That's
know
what,
this.
yeah, that's what I was gathering too. Because I'm like, okay, so if we're doing the labs, right, like so you said, like progesterone and estrogen, if we're doing the labs and that is coming within normal range, I'm going to use air quotes, normal
Yeah,
range.
normal range.
That's, yeah, that might be a sign that it's maybe not so much perimenopause. It's maybe is more of this health debt. And then to which you would say, go and get your functional nutrition labs done.
Yeah, yeah. So I think when I'm looking at labs like on a Dutch, whether the sex hormones are high or low, the important question that functional lab work does is answer more of the question of why. Well, if they're low, why are they low? I mean, if you're 38 and your sex hormones are low, I mean, why are they low? That doesn't make a lot of sense. So then we
Mm-hmm.
can look into the reason that those sex hormones are low with the functional lab work that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the beautiful aspects of, I realize it is an investment, but I think it's an investment in knowing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's something like I do for myself every year on my birthday. I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy myself this for my birthday. I'm going to run my labs. And it helps you understand, yeah, what looks good in your numbers and what doesn't, and what
Mm-hmm.
exactly can I do so I'm not spending $400 on Instagram supplements, which we've all
I feel
done.
so seen.
I know, right? I used to have like a supplement graveyard, but this way we're only buying what we need, I guess is
Yes.
the point. Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes. You're funny. Um, yeah, and so you say that perimenopause is a gift that we didn't ask for, but one that we definitely need. Can you speak more to that?
Yeah. Yeah. I look at this in two ways, Rachel. One, I think because all of us are carrying some level of health debt, I think we head into midlife. And again, perimenopause adds an energy demand. So it really is like a big pink highlighter that comes in and just starts to irritate you. Like it highlights the irritation and where it is so that we can make change. So I
Hmm.
think it makes us, and we have to be very conscious in perimenopause not to just consistently numb our edges by
Hmm.
like maybe consistently drinking or maybe, which I've been there before in my life where I like drank every night because it was the only thing that like could help me get to sleep. But we need
Hmm.
to be careful not to numb, but to literally sit in these uncomfortable edges so that we change. Because at 40, 45, 50, I mean, you've got decades left. And now is the time to make those changes so those decades are incredible decades.
Mm-hmm.
And the other part of the gift that for me, I find this really funny. I think our whole lives as women, from puberty to perimenopause, we've kind of been hormonally hijacked every single month, right? Half the month, we've got these rose-colored glasses come on that specifically makes us more amenable to procreate and have sex, and
Mm-hmm.
also puts other people ahead of ourselves so that they live, which is really important work. And I appreciate that. But can you imagine if you could access your actual feelings like 31 days or 28 to 31 days of the month and
Mm-hmm.
not feel like one person half the month and one person the other half of the month? This is a pretty cool gift of perimenopause. When we start to head over and graduate into that other part, you get to access everything that you want. This is how men have lived forever. And now you are no longer distracted half the month by your hormones, which again
Mm-hmm.
created life so important. And aren't we amazing? And I totally back that. But now
Yeah.
it's like, great, here's your next chapter. Here's your
Mm-hmm.
next chapter to do whatever you want and give less fucks about it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
which is really important.
I love that perspective. I often ask, like, at what age is like the give no fucks age? And
Yeah.
it sounds like it's this, right? Like this perimenopause, menopause era where it's like finally you can feel some sort of, and it might not feel like it right away, right? When we're
No.
speaking to like balance, it's probably
Yeah.
going to be a little shit show for a bit, but you get there eventually, right?
Absolutely. I think for me, it definitely started around 37, but at like 44, almost 45, I am like, I'm pretty good at not giving a hoot about what others think anymore. There's some more to come. I hear the 50s is a really special decade. So
Yeah. Yeah, I know that like conversations like these make me not so scared for 40. I used to have this like just every now and then it comes up like holy shit, like a couple more years, right? Like I'm closer to 40 than I am 30 at this point, but
yeah.
yeah, I think it's just I feel blessed to be in this type of work to have information like this, to it's like it doesn't have to feel so scary.
Yeah. And what a cool industry, like what a cool information are you in to like help women be and people be more liberated with their sexuality? Like
Hmm.
one of, I think, the most underrated things that we need more of in midlife is pleasure in
Hmm.
all of its forms. But when we think about if the whole point in health debt and really optimizing perimenopause is to increase energy supply and decrease demand, we can say no to certain foods, we can start to set boundaries, we can, have all these habits. But where do we get our energy supply from? Sleep,
Hmm.
nutrition, and pleasure.
Hmm.
And it is like everyone knows. I mean, when you're falling in love, like you're not hungry, you're talking all night on the phone, like you're not thinking of anything else? And so when you think about the opportunity to teach people pleasure the way you do and here on
Hmm.
your podcast, like this work is so important that you do. I
Hmm.
hope everyone listening, please go like rates and reviews your podcast because it's yeah. Please try to orgasm every day. This is going
Please,
to help
yes.
your perimenopause, I
I'm
promise.
telling you, yeah. My saying is an orgasm a day keeps the doctor away. So,
Oh, I like that a lot. That's incredible.
yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. Speaking my language around pleasure. Pleasure is the measure. Pleasure is the point. Like pleasure is the yeah, literally the point of living, right? Like we're not here to just live mediocre lives.
No,
Mm.
no, I agree. I've heard other practitioners say, like, in order to be healthy, you have to be hungry and horny, hungry, happy, and horny, or something like that. It's the measurement of health, I think.
Hmm.
Like sexual health is a measurement of health too.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, so just I'm sure a lot of people listening are thinking like, okay, this is me. Like, need to look into this. And so aside from the labs, is there like because I know again the labs can maybe not be as affordable as some people might hope that they are. Are there other practical steps that we could get into or to share on the show today for other things that people could start to look into that are maybe more within their means?
Yeah, absolutely. I always encourage people to just like book a call and like let's just understand what is needed here because we don't have to do
Hmm.
all the things. There's places to start, but I think in the steps of optimizing our health, step one is always going to be to get out of health debt.
Hmm.
And I think we can look at it very similarly to getting out of financial debt, which
Hmm.
is I think more people are more familiar with. How do I get out of financial debt? Well, first we look at our credit cards and we cancel all the unnecessary subscriptions that we have, like all the areas that's like, okay, I don't really need all of these things. And that's what we do, I think, in our health is like, okay, where can I cut out the unnecessary energy demand? And
Hmm.
certainly around kind of the key kindergarten basics of our health, like at night, everyone knows, like if you're doom scrolling at night, half an hour before bed, it's messing with your sleep. It's an energy demand. It's a problem.
Hmm.
If you're not going to bed until midnight or one, same situation.
Yeah.
So we want to cut those things out. I think when it comes to what we put into our body, like I'm still a big believer of 80/20, but I think we have to understand, like, is this providing energy to my body, or is it not only not providing, but is it also creating inflammation and causing more work for my body? So,
Hmm.
of course, like having a revisit and like minimizing those inflammatory foods that we all know and we're all so familiar with. But I also think, and I come from a fitness background and I love fitness. I do think a lot of the times one of the easiest ways to reduce health debt is to cut out your workouts and shift only into functional movement for a period of time while you
Hmm.
get out of debt. Because
Hmm.
lifting weights and doing cardio and high intensity interval training and going to your CrossFit or your Orange Theory, these all require an energy investment and you're in debt. So it's like
Hmm.
you're in all financial courses, they teach us to get out of high interest debt before
Hmm.
you can invest. And that's really, I think, how the body works when it comes to fitness. So we got to get out of
Hmm.
debt and then we get back to it. So
Hmm.
walking, and everyone gets annoyed at me because I used to hate this too, but yoga, I'm a big believer in like yoga or mobility and stability work. So
Yeah.
this is some like real low hanging fruit that I think everyone has heard 100 times, but it's like kindergarten basics,
Hmm. Hmm.
we're so good with our children and our animals at like feeding them on a schedule and making sure they're eating their vegetables and making sure they have outdoor playtime, but we
Hmm.
forget that our body's like a baby too.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
how sweet.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, curiosity if there's any trends that you're seeing going on right now that you want women to just like stop wasting their money or stop entertaining.
uh, yeah, that's a really good loaded question, Rachel. So, hmm. I mean, I just talked about it, but I will say when it comes to weight training, like we hear a lot about like lifting heavy in midlife, and I do think that's important. And again, I don't think you should be doing that unless we are very clear on um, how you're supporting that muscle repair. So if your
Hmm.
nutrition is not nailed, your sleep is not good, we don't know where your hormones are at, I kind of think it's just damaging and a waste of time,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
Hmm.
Um, I think that, because it's so common these days, I think that um, diving into peptide use, specifically the weight loss peptides like the GLP-1s, I think can be beneficial for some people. And I think it's really dangerous if you have not done the underlying work to get out of health debt. I think
Hmm.
the reason that a lot of people are suffering with side effects is that they are overdosing on these medications and that they are in health debt. And we cannot, again, you cannot get the benefits of what is possible from something like this if the body doesn't have the tools or the wherewithal or the energy to handle it.
Hmm.
So that's another big trend that I really just want to cautious people on is like there is a time and place
Hmm.
essentially for you. Everyone's going to know differently, but we have to do things correct first. Otherwise, it's like, again, being in debt with your strategy to make money playing the lottery. It's
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
maybe,
Hmm.
maybe it'll
Hmm.
work for you. Um, those are, I think, some of the biggest high value ones. Yeah. Do you have any that come to mind for you that you're curious about?
I think those are great. That just the supplement graveyard is coming up as well as what you said earlier. So that
Oh,
I
yeah.
think same there, right? Like the ads that we see for supplements are so targeted to our pain points, and so I know I fall for this. Like I'm looking at an ad or reels coming through. I'm like, oh, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's
Yeah.
me, right? Like I'm checking all the boxes. But I think similar to what you were sharing, like if I don't have the labs to know like what's really going on or like where really to attack, like I've had the NAD plus supplement in my cart for a month now. I've had the Happy V supplement in my cart for a
Uh-huh.
month now, right? Like all these things. And I'm like, I don't know, something's just like I'm not pulling the trigger yet. And so I
Yeah.
feel, yeah, just this conversation is like maybe I need to look in a different direction. Like it feels like a band-aid fix in a lot of ways.
It's really, it is kind of like throwing darts, I think.
Hmm.
I really love the idea of test, don't guess, because again, by the time you buy that NAD and that other supplement and maybe like one more or the two you bought last month, there's the cost of your lab, which is going to tell you exactly what you need, and then it won't be a supplement graveyard in your like
Hmm.
I have like I used to have three supplement graveyards. There's like over the fridge, in the bathrooms like mirror, and under the bathroom sink. So
Hmm. Hmm.
it's its own version of wasting money and hope. And so instead of guessing, just test.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, obviously, I'm feeling very inspired by our conversation. I'm like, you've sold me. Like, I want to book the call. I need to book the
Okay.
call. And so, as we're wrapping here, like, how can people get in contact with you, or if somebody is interested in working with you, how do we go about that?
Yeah, I think the best thing is to go direct to my website, briatheperiodwhisperer.com. And from there, you can book a free call. You can look at some of my smaller, quick little programs. You can check out the podcast, and reach out to me directly.
Yes, and then on Instagram, if people want to follow you, the Period
Oh,
Whisperer.
at Bria underscore the period underscore period underscore whisperer. Sorry.
Perfect. That's okay.
There we go. I'll make sure you have the links.
Yeah, I was like, we'll definitely link it in the show notes for people to find it easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on today. This was a wonderful conversation, very informative. And again, thank you for the work that you're doing and helping all of the women in the world just feel more normal in their bodies. I think that's so important.
Thanks, Rachel. And thank you so much for what you do. I really appreciate being here with you today.
Thank you so much for spending your time with me today on the Owning Your Sexual Self podcast. If today's episode resonated with you, I invite you to pause and notice what stood out, what stirred something in you, or what you might want to explore a little bit more gently this week. If you'd like to support the podcast as it continues into its 6th year, subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing this episode with someone that you trust and love truly, truly means the world to me. It helps these conversations reach more people who need permission to feel less alone in their sexuality and their relationships. You can find more resources, programs, and ways to work with me in the show notes, and I'd love to connect with you beyond the podcast. Until next time, keep honoring your body, your boundaries, and your becoming. I'll see you soon.